Hello, this is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, part of Redbud Realty and Associates. And if you are a financially distressed Oklahoma City homeowner and you're not making ends meet, you're not making your mortgage payments and maybe a few other payments, I know that psychologically this is not a good time for you. I have an understanding of what you're going through. I know and I have been through many of the hardships that constitute something that could make it where you can't make payments, where you may have to do something to avoid foreclosure. And I understand the emotions that go along with that. I understand sometimes you feel humiliated, you feel distressed that something that you want to honor, that you want to pay, that you can't pay. There may be a sense of shame, or there may be an intimidation because you've read articles about the big banks and how they don't care. And what it typically does for most homeowners is just kind of shut them down, where they don't look for solutions. Or they're afraid to tell someone. They're afraid to confide. They really don't want people to know what they're going through. And you really need a support system when you're in this particular position. And what I want to tell you is that, if you're afraid that somebody's going to look down on you, if you're afraid that you're less than what anybody else can be, please don't feel that way. I know in my case, for instance, 3 years ago when I was going through cancer treatment, I was in a period of about 2 or 3 years out a whole lot of money out of my savings. Unfortunately, I had the savings, but if I didn't, I would be in that kind of distressed situation today. But also I understood the need for a support system, not to give up, to reach out to people. And I want you to feel the same way. And medical is one of the big reasons people get into financial distress. And honestly, you didn't create this thing. You can't go back and say, well, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have smoked a cigarette when I was 16 years old, or I wish I wouldn't have eaten at McDonald's so often, or whatever it happens to be. Folks, these things just happen to us. Back in the 1980s, Oklahoma was in a terrible shape. I mean, everybody was going out of business. So did I. I had a retail business, and it folded. So I know what it's like all of a sudden not to have any kind of ability to pay your bills because you're out of business. Then there's the other aspect of divorce. I've been through that. I was a nice lady. We didn't work out, but I kept asking myself, well, should I have seen this coming? Is there something else I could have done? And just sometimes things like that happen. It's just, you can't blame yourself and you can't just shut yourself down. And yes, it does have a financial impact because so many people have two incomes right now. All these things can occur to you, but what I want you to do is I want you to reach out. I want you to be proactive, and I want you to understand that if you need help avoiding foreclosure, I will help you look at all possible alternatives, not just a short sale. We'll look at refinance. We'll look at loan modification, forbearance plans, everything that we can do to keep you out of that foreclosure, because that's the worst thing at this point that can happen to you. If you can stay out of that, then you have a really bright future ahead for you and your family. You can rebuild so much easier. But the most important thing is, if you call me, understand one thing. I know what you're going through. I've experienced that. I want to help you. I will never look down on you. I will not let anyone else look down on you during this process because of what you're going through. There's an old song title, be sure you're kind to people on your way up, because you might meet up with them on the way back down. That's a paraphrase of an Alan Toussaint song, but it's so true. And I want you to understand that we all go through this. I want to help. Please call me. We'll work together. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.